I've come to the realization that our biggest issue is with Joe Witt Jr. And we didn't do a lot of things right yesterday. A lot of things went wrong. We could talk about a lot of things. We could place the blame on a lot of different people. But the biggest issue that I have is is with Joe Witt Jr. Man, it's with Joe Witt Jr. and we're gonna get into it. So let's get into it. So first off, before we get into the team stats and what really went on yesterday, just watching the game. I know Marcus Mariota threw that interception, but the offense did enough for us to win this game. They scored 20. We scored 27 points down our starting quarterback and two of our starting wide receivers. We put up 27 points. So whatever the offense was doing yesterday, they did it. They did enough of it for us to win this game. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Secondly, the issue and the reason why I have a problem with Joe Witt Jr. is because he comes to the press conference every week and he says the guys gotta play better, guys gotta play better, guys gotta play better. But when are you going to put guys into position to play better? That's the biggest issue I have. When are you going to put guys in a position to play better? And off the top of my head, Bobby Wagner. Why does he continue to have Bobby Wagner play in coverage one-on-one with players that are fast, players that we know Bobby Wagner should not be playing with? He continues to play with him. He continues to have him run with the Bijan Robinsons of the world, the Tucker Crafts of the world. We know that is not his strength, but he continues to put him in these positions. I mean, why is Marshawn Lattimore 8 to 12 yards off the sticks on a 3rd and 2? I mean, this is exactly what we were seeing from Benjamin St-Juste last year. Why are these guys playing so soft on a 3rd and short? We talked all week about how this was the number 1 third down defense in the league, and we went out there and they converted 6 of 12 third downs on us. That's the ball game. That's the biggest thing that stands out to you right here. That's the biggest thing. We were 1 for 8 on 3rd down, and they were 6 of 12. That's the biggest thing. If we can get a couple of stops, we might win this game. If we can, especially that last drive. So let's go through it, man. Let's go through it. I'm gonna go through it real quick because I have all the drives down here on my phone. First drive. Deron Payne punches the ball out, but we do not recover. We don't recover. I don't know what they need to do or what we need to do in practice, but we do not recover fumbles. We don't. He punches the ball clean out. It gets kicked around. Michael Penix Jr. recovers the ball. It's like no one knew the ball was on the ground. We can't find it. Nothing happens ever. We never recover the ball. But they drive down the field, get into the red zone, they settle for a field goal. Mind you, we get the ball next. We go 3 and out. The drive pretty much stalls because of offensive line cues. Chris Paul had a miscommunication. Mariota got sacked. That was pretty much the end of the drive after that one. Next drive for Atlanta. We give up a touchdown on a very long, methodical drive. And they converted a 4th and 2 on that drive. They converted a 4th and 2, which was their only 4th down conversion that they needed to convert the whole game. And they go up 10-0. At this point, our defense has given up points on both of the drives, and now we're down 10-0 with our offense getting the ball back for the second time. Like, we're already in a hole with our backup quarterback. Now we're playing catch-up the entire game. We're playing catch-up the entire game from here on out. So, we get the ball on offense again. We get a big run from C-Rod. Shout out to C-Rod. The running game wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad today. We outran them actually. We had more rushing yards than they did. But they had more passing yards. Obviously, if you watch the game, they were eating us alive. But like I said, man, big run from C-Rod down to Atlanta's 20. We had a fourth down conversion after that to Debo, touchdown to Luke. Luke's second touchdown of the in 2 weeks. So shout out to Luke McCaffrey, man, because with Noah Brown out and Terry McLaurin out, he's been stepping up on special teams. He's been doing his best on offense, getting touchdowns every week. So shout out to Luke and shout out to Debo because Debo continues to be our MVP of this offense, and probably the whole entire team for this first quarter of the year. So shout out to those guys. So now the score is 7-10. Atlanta gets the ball back. Louisville gets a sack. But they convert on a third and long. It was either a third or a second and long after that sack. And it was on Marshawn Lattimore. And I understand everybody wants to, harp on Marshawn and blast Marshawn and yada, 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 this and yada, that. It's if you look at the game, why doesn't Joe Witt Jr. tell him? I mean, it could be he could be allowing Marshawn to play soft. He could be allowing him to play soft. And he's like, okay, it's up to Marshawn. But at some point, you as the defensive coordinator, you got to set your guys up in a position to where they can succeed. If you see he's playing soft and he's letting everything get, caught underneath, we got to figure something out there. But then on this particular play, he got beat deep. And I don't understand how he got beat deep because he was playing soft. And the route, and Drake London is not a 4.2, 4.3 guy. I mean, he has speed, but he's not a Tyreek Hill. So you play soft and you still get beat. I think, and again, I'm not in the NFL. I've never been a coordinator. So I'm just saying, watching Marshawn Lattimore in New Orleans, he was a press corner. He was a physical corner. He gets into your grill at the line of scrimmage. I think that would have boded well with this particular play and going forward. If we play him more up close to the line of scrimmage where he can throw off some of those timings with the quarterback, maybe just slow down a receiver before he even gets downfield, because him playing soft doesn't help anybody. When he plays 8 to 12 yards off the sticks, he's letting things get caught underneath, and he's also getting beat over the top because they're hitting him with double move. Drake London hit him with a double move yesterday, and it wasn't like I looked at the double move. The double move wasn't a super quick, super fast double move. Like, it wasn't some crazy double move where he's like, oh man, like he just got baited in for the underneath and he went past them. Maybe if he was playing press, he could have threw that timing off. Got a little bit more physical with him. I don't know. But what's going on right now it just isn't working, and something has to change. So that's why I say it's on Joe Witt to make an adjustment. If we know what we have in Marshawn Lattimore, we know what we have in our cornerback room. Instead of continuously beating your head up against the wall, let's make some changes. And I think they will make some changes going forward. I think we're going to see a better defense going forward. I had high hopes on this defense coming into the season, especially the secondary. Quan Martin, still haven't seen any plays from him either. But we're going to see, man. We're going to see. Moving on, though. Deep ball to Drake London. Lattimore gets cooked, like I said, and Bijan Robinson caps the drive off with a rushing touchdown. So at this point, they are up 17-7. They up 17-7. We get the ball back. Marcus takes an intentional grounding, which I don't understand, but I'm not gonna harp on Marcus Mariota, bro. He put up 27 points. That should win. You should win these games. You put up 27 points, especially with your backup quarterback in the NFL. He takes an intentional grounding, but I mean, if he would have looked at Debo was wide open, and that pretty much stalled that drive. Next drive, the defense hold them to a punt. Finally, after they scored on their first 3 drives, we held them to a punt. And we get the ball back. But again, going into the halftime, I don't know what it is, bro. But we get a first down on this last drive going into the halftime. And it was like the clock was ticking. It was a minute and it hit 59 seconds, 58 seconds. And we have 3 timeouts. Why are we not using a timeout? It was actually a third down before the half. It was a third down. Clock was ticking. Why don't we take a timeout so we could draw up the right play? Instead, we let time run down and we lose valuable time. And we get nothing. We ended up getting nothing on that drive. I don't know what because last year we was on it with the clock management. We was on it with the clock management, man. I don't know if it's just because Jaden's not in the game. He the one that be on that type of time, but we got to figure this out, bro. I know we still 2-2. Everything that we want is in front of us still. Everything. But we going to the Chargers playing like this, bro. We going to LA playing like this. It ain't gonna be good for us at all. It's gonna be terrible, and we gonna get embarrassed by that Charger. I know they look like the Giants just beat them with Jackson Dart first start, but listen, I'm telling you right now, we ain't getting that Chargers that they just got this past yesterday. We're not getting that Chargers. We getting the real Chargers that put up 30 a game, and we're gonna have to score points because this defense not it right now. So halftime comes back. We get the ball, first drive on offense. Penalties on Ben Sinnott and Luke McCaffrey. Mariota had a long run. Another penalty, false start on Zach Ertz. Drive ends on a Matt Gay kick. So right now, I think the score is like 10-17. So we down a touchdown. Matt Gay played his ass off. Shout out to Matt Gay. He's made his last 6 kicks. He went 4 for 4 yesterday. I think he made his long was a 54 to 52. He's coming around, man. Hopefully he can keep his confidence up because we're gonna continue to lean on him. Dan Quinn is gonna continue to lean on him all season. He's gonna ride Matt Gay into the daggone ground until he cannot no more. So hopefully Matt Gay continues to make his kick because we're gonna use him. We gave him the money and we're gonna use him, and he's gonna be our downfall or our up climb, whatever you want to call it. He's gonna be utilized when we need him to kick a field goal, whether he's been making them or not. So hopefully he continues to make them. So yeah, we get a field goal. I think at this point it's 10-17. We get back on defense. Big Bijan catch and run. This comes to the Bobby Wagner problem that I have with him. Why is he even in that position? Again, we know what players we have. Bobby Wagner is old. He does not, his strengths are around the line of scrimmage. His strength is in the middle of the field. His strength is rushing the quarterback or stopping the run or getting players in place. His strength is not in coverage. That is at the bottom. That is at the bottom of the list. And definitely not in coverage on Bijan Robinson. Definitely. Frankie Louisville either. But definitely not Bobby Wagner. And it's at this point, it's not like we could just blame Bobby Wagner. We know what he brings to the table. It's the defensive coordinator, the one who calls the defensive plays to put these guys into position to succeed. I don't know what's going on with Jordan McGee because every time in the offseason, it's been 2 off seasons now where they harped on Jordan McGee about we got packages for Jordan McGee. We can't wait to have him out there. But we see him out there in a handful of plays every Sunday. Like, what packages do you like? Why can't Jordan McGee get in the game and run with Bijan Robinson? If he's not ready, why y'all keep hyping him up to us like he's ready to hop in the game? You know, I just don't understand why he's talked about like this. on a daily, on a yearly basis if he doesn't get in the game, if y'all don't even trust him enough to get in the game. So yeah, long run, Bobby Wagner got caught up, and again, Bobby Wagner he was fighting through traffic from the wide receivers, but still, I don't even think if he was fighting through traffic, he would have got over there. He still would have made the catch. Probably might have tackled him, but he still would have made a catch for a pretty sizable gain. And then it ends at a Kyle Pitts touchdown. So right now the score is 24-10, I think, and we're down 14. Second drive, Marcus Mariota throws an interception. Pretty bad interception. He should have angled it more to the right, but he angled it more to the field, to the middle of the field where the safety was. And it is what it is. Pick. Second drive, for the defense on the second half, Mikey gets a pick. Another player that I think isn't being utilized well. I get it. Mikey hasn't been playing the best as a slot corner for us this season. But again, this is another player that his attributes coming out of college was around the line of scrimmage, was rushing the passer as a cornerback, not dropping back in coverage every single down. And I get you kind of got to put him in that situation because of the personnel that you have. But scheme something up. I want to see. I don't think I've seen Mikey rush off the edge, rush off the line of scrimmage yet this season. So again, this goes back to Joe Witt Jr. And I'm not trying to just shit on Joe Witt Jr. I'm not trying to get called for him to get fired or anything. We 4 games into the 2025 season, but I need some adjustments. I need something. I need to see, as a fan, I need to see some things change. I need to see some people adjust. Something. Bobby, Mikey Sanders, still Marshawn Lattimore, they're not being put in a position to succeed. And that falls on Joe Witt, man. So Mikey gets the pick. Third drive for the offense in the second half. Marcus Mariota was off target. And we settled for a field goal. I forgot who he was passing the ball to, but I felt like he was off target against Debo that drive. And I don't know if he was he's been under pressure and everything, but I can't blame the game necessarily on Marcus Mariota because they put up 27 points. What else are you going to ask from your backup quarterback, right? So we settled for a field goal, cut the lead to 10. Defense hops back on the field. They moved the ball on us easily again. And ends up having, Tyler Algier ends up getting the touchdown. We get the ball back on offense. 4th and 3, touchdown to Debo. We score. We get the 2-point conversion. We cut the lead to 7 at that point. And we don't see the ball pretty much. We don't get a chance to really do anything on offense down 7 because our defense lets up 3 third down conversions in a row. Again, we talked about it all week. Man. Talked about it all week how this defense was the number 1 third down defense. And when it mattered, we couldn't get the ball back on third down. We held them to 3 third downs in a row. They converted on every single one of them. Every single one. But let's go over these stats real quick. Passing first downs, they got 14 to our 8. So overall first downs, they got 24-17. So they got much more first downs than us. They controlled the time of possession by almost 10 points. By almost 10 minutes. Like I said, we outrushed them by about 20 yards. It's really what isn't much of the difference. The difference was in our pass defense. They had 307 passing yards. Michael Penix had a field day. He had a career high on passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Yards per play, we gave up 6.8 yards per play. That total, they had 438 yards of offense. And that's where it was. It was really on the passing. We held Bijan to only 75 yards. We held Bijan on 75 rushing yards. But he had over 100 receiving yards. Drake London had over 100 receiving yards on 8 receptions. Like when we start playing these more like Luke McConkey next week and Johnson, they got their wide receiver. They have a speedy wide receiver over here. His last name is Johnson. I can't remember his first name. Keenan Allen. Like, I'm sorry, but these guys are about to cook us, bro. And we gotta hope we put up enough points to win this game. Because our secondary is if we go into this game with no adjustments, the scheme is in there. We're going to get schemed up from their offense. They're going to scheme us up. Luke McCaffrey is perfect in space. I don't think we're terrible. We're terrible in man, right? But we are even worse in zone. It's scary hours for our secondary right now. It's really scary. I hope we don't run any zone because Luke McCaffrey gonna eat us alive. We suck in zone. We suck in man. So what we gotta hope is them losing Joe. I think they lost Joe Alt, and they already was down Rashawn Slater. Hopefully we can get to him. But Justin Herbert is a mobile quarterback, and he's not easy to bring down. Bro's like 6'6", 220, 230, or whatever he is. This is going to be a test because they're going to score points. Hopefully JD5 can get us in end zone. We going to need at least probably 30 points next week to win. So we're going to see. But this game, man, it came down to our passing defense. Offense, yes, Marcus Mariota had that turnover. We win our first two drives. First drive, we didn't score. Second drive, we only got a field goal. So we were down in the hole 10-0 early. But when you score 27 points, let's go ahead and get this off the screen. When your offense puts up 27 points with your backup QB, you're expected to have won that game. You're expected to have won that game. This game came down to our passing defense. When we needed to get off the field on third downs, we could not do it. We put them in position. We had them in position on third and favorable. We just couldn't get off the field. And shout out to the Falcons, man. Listen, shout out to the Falcons. They did their thing. They came out. They wrote their wrongs from last week after losing, sadly, to the Panthers 30-0. They came back and bounced back. So we got to give all the credit to the Falcons, to Atlanta Falcons. But watching that game, that is a game that we could have won if guys were put into better positions to make plays, in my opinion. Another thing I want to say, red zone. They were 4 for 6 in the red zone. And we were 1 for 1. We've only made it to the red zone one time yesterday. One time. We gotta figure this out, man. We gotta figure this out. And I'm not even. The defense didn't play. The rushing defense did what they were supposed to do yesterday. We held Bijan under 100 yards. He's one of the best, if not the best, back in the league. It was specifically the passing defense, specifically. Everything, like looking at the stats, we lost time of possession. It all leads back to the passing. Michael Penix Jr., from what I saw, it wasn't like he was standing back there going through his progressions. And that's the thing that hurts me the most, because when I saw Michael Penix passing, it wasn't like he was going through his progressions. Oh, he's not open. Let me go to the next person. Let me go to the next person. He was looking at his first read. He was looking. He was like, oh, wait till he get open. Bam. It's like we didn't do anything to take that away. We didn't catch on to like, okay, wherever he's looking at, that's most likely where the ball is going to go. Let's get to the wide receivers early. Let's stop them in their routes early before they get to the breaking point at their route. It's like we didn't even catch on to that. And that's probably the most frustrating thing, because I'm watching Michael Penix go back there. He's eyeing Drake London, waiting for him. He gets open. And I'm like, can't nobody break on the ball? Like, don't nobody see what I'm looking at, to the point where, okay, if he's doing this, let's play more physical. Let's play up. There were so many times where we almost got to Michael Penix. We had a hand in his face, or he was right there. He was taking hits, but he releases it for a completion. Again, we didn't make him go through any of his reads. These were all first read passes. All of them were first read passes from what I looked. Obviously, it might have been a couple of them, but most of these passes were first read passes, and that is the part that's frustrating to me. It wasn't like we were. No, Michael Penix was dotting us up. Don't get me wrong; he was dotting us up all day, but it wasn't like it was like a quarterback back there, first read, second read. Okay, let me get it out to the third read. No, it wasn't like it wasn't like that. That was what was going on at all. So to end it off, man, I think that we will be better because we have to be. Pretty much. I think we will be better because we have to be. And I trust that Dan Quinn and Joe Witt, they're gonna figure something out with this defense, man. Because the fact that it's a scheme issue, I think there's just some adjustments that need to be made. Look, Marshawn Lattimore hasn't been playing well. He hasn't played well since we picked him up, to be honest. But I don't think he's this bad. I think there's some things that we can do to put him in more favorable positions. I think there's some things that we can do to put Bobby in more favorable positions. They were running the same schemes that the Packers ran. They were taking their wide out, running them across the field when we were in man on Marshawn. Switch it. Like, I get it. We're 4 games into the season, so we have time to change it. But now we're 4 games into the season. Now we need to change it. If we come out to the Chargers, look, we're going to see it against the Chargers. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to take Johnson or Allen or McConkey. They're going to motion them across the field on Marshawn. Are we going to switch it, or are we just going to watch Marshawn get cooked and say, "Oh, Marshawn's butt"? There's things that we can do scheme-wise to help Marshawn out. That's all I'm saying. And we're going to wait to see. That's why I put this loss on Joe Witt Jr. But overall, the defense didn't play well. But the loss has to be on the scheme. It has to be on the scheme more than anything. Maybe the guys didn't execute well. We know that we don't have the personnel like a lot of other great defenses does in the league. Knowing that, again, it all leads back to scheme. We got to put guys into the position to succeed. But that's all I got for y'all, man. If y'all tuned into this stream, man, please like, subscribe, and comment for more videos just like this, man. If y'all just hopping in now, please play it back from the beginning so y'all can get the full story of what I went through yesterday. Because this is a game we should have won, man. This is a game we should have won. Now we got to hope we pick up some wins here and there against some good teams because our schedule about to get real dicey soon. We about to start playing the Chiefs and the Chargers. I know we got the Cowboys coming up in week 7, I think. Their offense is clicking. You've seen them last. They put up 40 points against the Packers. They're going to put up points against our defense. So that's all I got to say, man. Again, please like, subscribe, and comment to the channel. I really appreciate it, man. Hail to the Commanders, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night.